Alright, time for another draftphysics.com, debatephysics.com also. Video presentation. But, yeah, it's just, there's nobody rational to talk to, right? Right? None of you people are rational, right? Okay. So I sat in that demystify science thing, waiting and waiting, see if you get called. You have no idea, and then half the people are people they don't pull out of the hat. So you got 50 people waiting, and they might have gone through 6 or 7 of those people. I don't know. So your odds are not good, and yeah, it's just insanely tedious. So anyway, the whole thing was so bad. So this Zoom software you have to load, and I just want to point out, you can't, you touch something in the settings and the damn thing crashes on me. So I can make my own room. So maybe if somebody wants to have a Zoom conversation just for the fun of it to see if how durable the software actually is. But anyway, it was really unpleasant. And it's just all this silly shit. So they just want to talk about LSD and circumcision and, wooey shit, and it's just so bad. Just it's just so disappointing. Anyway, so yeah, it was just really bad. I mean, this is, it's it looked bad, and you couldn't. So the audio of the people speaking was way too loud, and their audio was way too soft. So I don't know how they're gonna. I don't know if they have a fix for that, but yeah, it was really bad for anybody listening in the Zoom. You really couldn't do it. Yeah, so it was just a really horrible experience, frankly. I didn't enjoy it, and such. So I'll leave that alone and move on to a comment. So I'll just deal with one stupid comment. All right, so I think I've, analogized appropriately. Where the hell is... yeah, it's one of these windows should be my regular... There it is. Thank you. All right. Where the hell is it on a... sorry. It shouldn't be in a different... yeah, it is. It's in a different workspace. I don't know why it's on a different workspace, but it is. Well, we'll just forget about that, and I won't bother showing it to you then. All right, well, anyway, so the analogy is really simple. So if I'm just in space floating, and I have, let's say I have 5 baseballs. So I throw one baseball. Okay, I go with velocity. I throw 2 baseballs. I'm going to go twice the velocity. And all I did was twice the work. I didn't do any more than twice the work. Okay, I didn't do 4 times the work. I just did twice the work. And let's say I had a third arm and I could throw 3 baseballs all at the same time. Equal and opposite reaction. I'm going to get a certain amount of momentum is leaving, and I'm going to get the equal and opposite reaction, and I'm going to do 3 units of work. That's it. And I'm going to get 3 units of velocity. By the kinetic energy theory, I've gotten to do 9 units of work to get 3 units of velocity. So clearly I violated it. And so let's just say I had 5 arms and I did all 5 baseballs at once. I'm clearly going to go 5 times the speed, just as Newton said, twice the force, twice the velocity, 3 times the force, 3 times the velocity. There's no room for the kinetic energy theory to be anything but nonsense. It's no way it took 25 times the work for me to throw the same baseball, the same speed, 5 times instead of just once. No way. So that was the simple premise. And so this idiot commenter just keeps trying to change that scenario. And in the end, his last comment, he just overtly tries again to cheat the simple argument. So I pointed out, relativity can have nothing to do with the example I provided. So if you throw the baseballs all at once, there's no relativity argument. Now, obviously, if I throw one baseball and gain a velocity, and then throw another baseball, I'm going to get a little less velocity on the second one I throw, because the relative motion. It's not going to be going as absolutely fast as the first baseball. And the third one will be going a little bit slower, and the fourth one a little slower, and the fifth one a little slower. So I'll lose a little bit. But there's no evidence of 25 times the energy, so it's not even close. You're talking about a marginal, instead of 50 miles an hour, you're going 45 miles an hour. Tiny difference. Anyway, I provided, if I had 3 arms and threw 3 baseballs at once, I will acquire 3 times the velocity, and I will not have done 9 times the work. So it's a simple argument. It's over. I keep arguing. Okay, just tell me that somehow you people actually believe that it does take 25 times the fuel when there's just no evidence it does. None. And they just persistently keep doing this. So he says, it's not that simple. Yeah, it is that simple. And that's the experiment. You could even just do it with launchers, just little spring-loaded launchers. And you just got 5 of them on your platform, and you're just going to launch 5 balls at once. You're only going to go 5 times the velocity, that's all. And you didn't do 25 times the work. Each launcher only took 1 unit of energy to load. Alright, if I had 3 arms and... Okay, I did that right. It's not that simple. Perhaps it's easier to understand what happens if you throw the 3 baseballs one at a time. So why would I do that, though? Because then that just introduces this tiny bit of relativity. Now, if I'm throwing a baseball that's going 100 miles an hour, and I only go 1 mile an hour, so let's just say the platform is 100 times heavier than the baseball, then the difference is going to be minuscule. Okay, when you throw the first one, you gain some velocity. When you throw the second one, you are already in motion. Yeah, and it's going to be a tiny amount of motion relative to the speed of the ball. So if you want to make it travel with the same velocity as the first one, you have to throw it harder. Right, 1% harder, not 25 times harder. Okay, and use more energy, because its relative velocity will with respect to you will be larger. So again, it's just such bullshit. To be more precise, you would also need to consider the masses of the balls you are still holding. And yeah, so let's just say the balls are 1% of your mass, so it's a tiny percentage. It's not going to make any difference. It'll be a point something difference, 49.4, okay, instead of 50. Nowhere close to showing us 25 times. So this is just such bullshit, that you have to endure this nonsense from people. So it just proves that you people really, you're not belligerent. I mean, you're not accidentally stupid. You're belligerently stupid. You just don't give a shit about the truth, and you're going to contrive any excuse to evade it. And so, it really is an impossible task to speak truth to humans, the scientists most specifically. It's clear the scientists are the most belligerently stupid. They're the most religiously fanatic. Because this is a 350-year-old fable. And nobody can show any evidence that it takes 25 times the fuel to move something 5 times as fast. There's just zero evidence that it ever happens, or anything even close happens. It's just absolute nonsense, and they won't hear that truth. They won't pay any attention. Yeah. So they're more closed-minded than religious fanatics. They're worse than a religion. I shouldn't say science is just a religion. It's worse than religion. The dogmatic devotion is worse. All right, so I just thought I'd throw that in. So I guess that's, there's not much else to say in the video, right? So again, I could just draw it, but I mean, so what's the point, right? So I have a platform in space, and I just put, 5 little catapults on it, and spring-loaded mouse traps even, and they're just going to launch okay, the same object at the same velocity. And again, the simple truth is I launch one of them, this platform will go 1 velocity. I launch 2 of them, it will go 2 velocity. I launch 3 of them, it will go 3 velocity. And the kinetic energy says this is 9 times the energy. It says this is 4 times the energy. It means it's 4 times the work I had to do, when it's obviously, no, I did twice the work. I just launched 2 mouse traps. I didn't do 4 times. I didn't launch 4 mouse traps, just 2. And then when I launch 3, that's all it is, 3. It's not 9. And then when it's 4, it's 4. It's not 16. And then when it's 5, it's 5. It's not 25 mouse traps. It didn't take 25 mouse traps to go 5 velocity. It'll be just 4 velocity and then 5 velocity. This is not mysterious. And this is 16 times the fuel. Okay? This is 25 times the fuel. That's what the theory says. And it's wrong. It doesn't happen. And you can prove it with levers. You can prove it with ballistic pendulums. You can prove it with water hoses. You can prove it with electric turbines. You can prove it with electric drills. You can prove it in all these ways. And in spite of that, I have to keep arguing this for the rest of my fucking goddamn life. Because you're dumb as fucking shit and you're fucking lying pieces of garbage who are devoted to a stupid and idiotic religion. I mean, I can't believe these pompous, arrogant, motherfucking atheists who aren't really atheists. They're not really scientists. They don't really give a fuck about logic and reasoning at all, because they'll sit there and keep belligerently saying something that doesn't happen happens. It doesn't fucking happen. I mean, the Mythbusters crashed the cars 50 miles an hour, 100 miles an hour. Not 4 times the crushing, just twice. Just pointing out, it's only twice the fucking energy. There's no evidence of this garbage nonsense that somehow there's this exponential growth in the goddamn energy with velocity. 0 evidence. And you just keep belligerently clinging to this stupid, inane nonsense. So anyway, I was in that stupid room listening to these stupid fucking dissident wackos, and you're just saying, and none of them, all these people who want to tear down science. I don't want to tear it down. I have no interest in tearing down science. None. 0. I'm a science lover my whole life. Why the fuck would I want to tear down science? But the fact is, it's wrong. These people want to tear it down because they want to replace it with some wooey god shit. Okay, some silly theory, some silly theory. And they can't even see this obvious. Well, this would be an obvious thing to argue. If I want to tear down science, I want to humiliate it, make it look stupid. Well, 1/2 mv squared, that's the winner. You want to make science look stupid? Just start talking about this and trying to find any experiment where it works. Again, the ballistic pendulum, for fuck's sake. We're supposed to believe the bullet goes in with 2,000 joules. The pendulum moves with 2 joules. And they say there's 1,900 and whatever joules inside the pendulum in heat. Well, if there's 1,900 and whatever joules of heat in here, then that means you had to make all that heat without using any momentum. Because guess what? You conserved all the MV. The MV here equals the MV here. So the experiment perfectly worked from momentum's point of view. It's just that this number was nonsense from the very beginning. It never happened. And the laws of physics already tell you that, right? I mean, the gun explosion is just a little explosive in the bullet. The bullet doesn't know whether this end or that end is the point that's supposed to move. It doesn't make any difference to the bullet. It's an explosion. And the gun part, this half, very heavy, 1,000 atoms. It'll go 1 mile an hour. And on the other side, you got the light bullet, 1,000 times lighter bullet, and it goes the 1,000 miles an hour. The same MV. So it's working perfectly. And it's only your silly notion that says, oh, there's 1,000 times energy in that bullet. No, there isn't. Oh, shit. So anyway, yeah, it's just all so depressing. There's just not even a little cricket chirp of intelligence somewhere here. I mean, you can't find an intelligent conversation. Fuck. Anyway, I'm just really pissed. It's just, the world is so desperately in need of reason, and it ain't gonna come from scientists. Fucking Jesus. All lost playing music and taking LSD. Oh, shit. So anyway, God, I just hate this planet. I don't know if there's anything else to say. So, should be a simulation coming soon on the drag, and, should be some updates on the other simulation, and blah, 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 and such. But there's really no point, right? I mean, if you can't get this simple argument, I mean, in space, you can make the experiment as simple as possible. You're just throwing baseballs, and you people can't get it. No, the only thing you can create is momentum. You can't create this kinetic energy magic. It doesn't exist. I mean, the very fact that you can't figure out that when you're falling 2 seconds in gravity, you can't collect 4 units of energy in 2 seconds. It's 9.8 meters per 1 second. So you're only getting 2 units of velocity, 2 units of force, 2 units of energy. You don't have 4 units of energy. Oh, fuck. So depressing.